Okay, guys. Uh, RT, okay. The weekly revenue produced by a company manufacturing air conditioning units is seasonal. Its revenue can be approximated using the following function. Okay, you notice ratings, don't you? So what I'm going to do straight away is go to the calculator and get myself hooked up for rating mode, okay? So I'm going to go shift, setup, rad, okay? So I'm in rating mode. Now, this one's a decent one at the start because all we're going to do is replace T with 20. So you're going to go 22500, cos, please show the fact that you're putting in the 20, like so. So you get temp marks if it was to go wrong. Okay. Now, I tend to use the table function a lot. Okay. So what I'll tend to do instead is I'll tend to do the full thing on the table function. And I'm showing the examiner that I am putting it in, but I'm actually using the table function. And I'm just going to put it all into the table function here, okay? It basically is. Yeah, yeah, it's the godsend. Now, I'll just read where number 20 is. Now you can see what's happening. It starts off, you're selling 60,000 units, and then it hits a bottom of, I'm seeing it now. I think it's in the bottom of, it's going down lower. How low until it, actually, I haven't even hit the bottom yet. You got 20,658.51. Uh, Now, you either sell it or you don't. Would you agree? So for me, I'd round down because you either make the sale or you don't. So to me, I think you're on 58 and you haven't sold the 59th one. That make logical sense. Now I'll be sure to check the market scheme in a second. That's how much I'm selling. Or that's how much, is that how much money I make? Oh, it's money, is it? Oh, it's near sure I'm wrong then. Yeah, I thought it was how many units I sold. It was actually how much money I made. All right. Now, do you know I didn't hit rock bottom yet? I didn't really hit rock bottom yet. So do you know what I'll do? I'll extend that on another 20. So I'll go back here and I'll just get a gist for what's going on in the question. I'll go start at 20, end at, I don't know, 45 or something like that, and keep looking. And I'll go, when do I hit rock bottom? 15 grand is rock bottom. Do you see that? I already know when rock bottom is. And I already know from earlier that the start of the question had me at 60 grand. So I already know my range just using the table function. I know it's 15,000 and 60,000. Okay, let's go on to the next part. Find two values of T within the first 52 weeks where the revenue is 26,250. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my table function and find out a rough idea of what I'm expecting. 26 grand, right? Let's go up here. Oop, maybe it wasn't. Somewhere between 34 and 30. 5 is the first one. So I'll say 34, 35. And then I'll go back to my 0 to 20. And I'll find the other one. And you'll see what we're talking about now. There is there somewhere between 17 and 18. Would you agree? If I don't get those two answers, I'm wrong. Right? So I have a head start in this. We're going to use the formula, aren't we? So what's the formula again? 22,500 cos pi over 26 t. T is the goal of the question, isn't it? And plus 37,500. And that'll equal your 26,250. Okay. Now, once you do that, that's a 10 mark central. You've equated the equation. Okay. Now, what we're thinking about here is we're going to highlight our target. Here's our target, the T. We're slowly going to disassemble the formula on the left. So what happens when I bring the 37,500 over to your side? Negative 11,250. Okay, next thing. I'm going to grab that 22,500 and throw it underneath. Okay, is everybody happy that I can get rid of that now? Okay, and turns it to minus a half. Now, I'll stand by this in my video. It's an Anto-Stál-Dakar question. Do you remember we had remember we did it recently where we had like cos 2x equals root 3 over 2 and you have to find out what quadrant you're dealing with. Okay, so we're very used, we have to do this in radians. It cannot be done using degrees. So what we do is we get our center, or we get our circle, and we write down Anto-Stál-Dakar ASTC. Okay, now cos is negative. So what are the two locations of my answers? A is always positive, so sine, cos, and tan are all positive there. Cos is positive here. What? S and T. Okay, now I'm about to write in the rules for T and S. T is 180 take away, and the other one is 180. Now, hold on a second. That's degrees, not radians. How do I adjust? Pi plus r and pi minus r. Okay. Now, there's another rule I have for this. I never inverse the minus number. I always inverse the positive number. So inverse the positive number for me. So you go cos inverse a half, and we get pi, a third pi, or pi over 3. So it's going to be pi take away pi over 3, or pi plus pi over 3. So we actually have two answers for our angle. What is our angle again? Is our angle this thing here? Oh, cool. All right, because we're expecting an answer somewhere between 34 and 35 and 17 and 18. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our angle equal to what they give us. They say pi over 26 multiplied by t. That's 2 over 3 pi for that one, isn't it? And the other one? Now, right, I'm going to cancel the pi's. Don't, just small little dotted line, pencil even. Just don't mark it all out, yeah? Now, what do I do with the 26? 2 times 26 is 52. 52 divided by 3. Bet it's between 17 and 18. There you go, on the money. Exactly what we're expecting. And then the other one, 4 times 26 over 3. Between 37 38 or something like that? Oh, 34 and 35, was it? Yeah. So 34 points. Yeah, I'd probably write in both answers. I'd probably write in 104 over 3. And then I'll just quickly convert that to a decimal as well while I'm at it. Is there anything in the question to say I should have it? It's 6 with a dot, which is actually 34 point, or 34.7 rounded. Okay. Whew. That was a tough part B. I reckon that could have went. I'll remind you of is this, all right? So what I'll do is I'll set up an easier question than this. So imagine 50 cos 3x plus 80 as an example, right? This is an easier question than the one above it. Would you agree with that? Now, what happens when you differentiate cos? What does it turn into? Is it definitely minus sign? And what's my rule? The angle never. So it's minus sine 3x outright. Is that right? Now there is a little rule that we forgot about. What did we forget about? You got to differentiate the angle. What happens when you differentiate 3x? 3. And what does that 3 affect? The 50 to turn it into minus 150 sine 3x. And then the 80, what happens to the 80? Disappears, right? Using what we just learned from this section, what would your prediction on the next section be? Well, we can treat this to 0, can't we? Gone, yeah. We can turn the cos into what? Minus sine pi over 26 t. Now here's the tricky part. What happens when you differentiate the angle? If that was 3t, you'd be multiplying it by 3. But pi over 26 is just a number. So you're going to multiply 2,250 by the pi over 26. It's the same thing we did with the 3 and the 50 earlier. So it's exactly the same thing. Do you know what I can do? I can leave out the pi, or I can put it as a fraction. It's all the same. I can just leave out the pi. Just pretend the pi is not there for a minute. Nah, it's still messy. It doesn't matter. All right, put back in the pi. No, literally that's what happens sometimes. So 2,718.686, I call it. 27186.686. It's all right. And the minus. Now, it'd be interesting to see how the market scheme wrote that down. So just have a quick peek. Yeah, they kept it as a fraction. We have it as a decimal. It's not the end of the world. Okay. So they did what I did earlier. They actually, remember I took it out. They kept it as that with the pi beside it. That's more or less what we're doing there. Yeah, yeah. Now, what's the next part? Hughes calculus show that the revenue is increasing 30 weeks in after the beginning of June. Increasing means your slope is positive. So do you know those periodic functions where you go up and down, yeah? At the 30 mark, you're on your way upwards. So your slope should be upwards. In differentiation, your slope is your first. So if we replace t with 30, all you have to do is prove that it's a positive number, that it's increasing. So we write in this number here. I think I had it saved here. There, isn't it? 2718.686 sine. Now it's going to be 30 pi all over 26. Yeah, that's it. Positive number, or else I'm wrong. Oof. Oh, minus. So see my prediction helped me find my mistake. My prediction helped me find my mistake because it's minuses there. So it's 1,263.4, call it. No, it was. Remember, it was the answer we got in the last part. I forgot to put the minus in as well. I was asked about the workings. I transport this full line, replace the t with 30, and throw it right underneath there. But because it's bigger than 0, it means slope is positive. Hence, revenue is increasing. Revenue is therefore increasing. Is that cool, you guys? Sine, cos, and tan are periodic functions. They go up and down, up and down. They have several maxes, and they also have several mins. That makes sense? What they want us to prove is that a maximum occurs, or sorry, a minimum occurs. Find a value for the time t in the first 52 weeks when the revenue is at a minimum. Any time we want. Yeah? I think I already got that earlier. I think I got that answer earlier when I was doing the table function. Huh? Was it 20? Was when, so look, I'll just quickly enter that in again, all right? Will somebody tell me the table function again for me? Just the equation? Yeah, yeah. Pi over 26, yeah. And then I haven't got t, so I'll use x, yeah. And then plus 37,500. Okay. And I did 0 to 20 earlier, yeah. Let's do 0 to 25. Look at this. I already knew the minimum, didn't I? Was 15 grand, yeah. Scrolling down. It's at 26. Let's try again. There you are, my boy, 26. I know the answer already. Just need to lock in on it. Okay? I already have the answer. So I know it's 26. You could try trial and error there. Just pretend that you subbed in 25 and you subbed in 26 and you showed that 26 was 15 grand. Yeah, you can do that if you want. I'm going to show you the aim for full marks here, okay? Now, first things first, right? At a minimum, your slope is, do you agree slope is 0? So I'm going to take our last thing here. I'm just going to, oh no, where did I put it? That's it there. See this here? Okay, I'm going to grab this. That's our slope formula, our first derivative. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to move it over here. Okay, and I'm going to press paste. Right, there it is there, and I forgot the minus sign again. Now, I'm going to put this equal to 0. Do you know what this means? It means that I can divide by this number here. Divide both sides by minus 287 point something. The only thing that causes that to be equal to 0 is this part here. That part must be equal to 0 for the two of them multiplied together to be equal to 0. So the green part's at fault. It's the green part that equals 0. Everybody cool with that? Okay. Next thing after that then. The green part is what has to equal 0. Now, let's think about it. What's sine inverse 0? Using a calculator. Shift. Sine inverse 0. 0 is one answer. That's no good to us. What's the next answer when sine is 0? Sine is 0 at 0, 360. Is there something in between? 180. If you put that into degrees, 180 would be an answer as well. You can use your tables on page 13 to find the answer if you want as well. You'll see that it's 0 at, the actual answer here is pi. So you get pi over 26t equals pi. Now it said find a answer, didn't it? But then it says you have to be within the first 52 weeks. So it has to be this answer, I'm afraid. Cancel the pi's, and it's t over 26 equals 1, t equals, and we knew it was that all along. We had that. Okay. Now imagine you didn't get this part right. Imagine you couldn't do it. It's still asking you to do the second derivative, isn't it? Would you agree with that? And is there any reason why we can't attempt the second derivative? No, exactly. So we're going to go back. Ready for this? Okay. I'm just going to go back. We all know it's 26 now, okay? Now, there it is there. All right. Next thing you want to know is the exact opposite of what you expect. For maximum, the second derivative is smaller than 0. For minimums, the second derivative is bigger than 0. So I'm gonna differentiate this again. Now, what does sine change into when you differentiate it? Just changes into cos, doesn't it? So it's cos pi over 26t. But do you see this number on the outside? What's going to happen to it? It's going to get times by pi over 26. So you get your 2718.686, yeah. I'm going to multiply that by pi over 26. And you get 328.5, yeah? Now, minus 328.5. Now here's the deal. I have to find out the value of this when the t value is 26. So what happens when you put in t equals 26? It just turns into cos pi. So it's minus 328.5 cos pi. It's actually 328.5, which is bigger than 0, which means it's a, when the second derivative is bigger than 0, it means it's a minimum. When the second derivative is smaller than 0, it means it's a maximum. And that's it.